Hi, Nancy. Thank you so much for joining us today, all the way from Malaga.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Nancy, you've been on an amazing musical journey for years now that's taken you to many areas of the world, but you started that journey in or close to the place of your birth right here on Vancouver Island. Can you please tell us a bit about growing up here, along with the early musical influences you had?
Well, I grew up in the bush, well, in a log house that my family built out in Swartz Bay, and didn't watch a lot of television, so there was lots of time to play out in the woods, and we had some musical instruments in the house, you know, piano and the drums. I would bang away on the drums or the guitar, anything I could find, and so I think this was really fundamental in terms of setting me out on a creative path, you know. In terms of musical influences, well, I think there were a lot of clues actually that led me on my path to explore the world through music. Maybe starting with my classical singing training, you know, learning to sing in German, Italian, and French, you know, really opened my ears to new sounds, which I think was really important. I remember my dad brought home an LP of the soundtrack to Man of La Mancha, you know, the story of Don Quixote, the musical. And listening to those sounds, the Spanish sounds, the Phrygian scale, like, wow, what's that? That was really exciting to my young ears. And I knew that I would end up in Spain someday after I listened to that. Also, you know, listening to Led Zeppelin and songs like Kashmir and When the Levee Breaks and thinking, where does that come from? What you know, those sounds are new to me, you know, when I was young, and I found those sounds very exciting. So yeah, there were little clues along the way in my early life.
You know, it's really interesting to me, Nancy, because I remember when I had the honor of working with you back when you were doing your first album. That I always remember you talking about Morocco and how you were always fascinated, and you know, you've always obviously held an interest in delving into music from other parts of the world, and really working to bring together musicians from various musical traditions to perform on your original music. So what really spurred your interest in this particular regard?
My first overseas gig was singing for the Sultan of Brunei. Brunei is a very wealthy little country in Southeast Asia. And I was performing there for the Sultan. Well, actually, it was his brother, Prince Geoffrey, and the harem. Everything was made of gold and studded with jewels and diamonds and emeralds. But that was not the interesting part. The interesting part was learning to sing in Malaysian, Indonesian, and Japanese. And having the experience of singing these vocal inflections, these little melismas, was very interesting to me. I loved it. I really loved it. And that was kind of, that was one of my first explorations into world music around the world. I later traveled a lot through Latin America, Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, and Chile. And I worked with a Panamanian composer for a while. His name was Tonio Rovira. And he introduced me to this whole world of baladas and boleros. And I absolutely it's romantic music. It's beautiful music. And that actually led me to record an album for a Dutch record label in 2008 called Me Quedo, which was a collection of boleros and some of the songs that I co-wrote as well. So, you know, that was a wonderful experience as well in Latin America. I worked in Tahiti and French Polynesia and learned some of the traditional music there, which was a wonderful, really special experience. Kayaking and singing, you know, like the rowing that they do there, and they sing as well, a very kind of a primal kind of a sound. Oh, yeah, that was great. And then, of course, I always knew that I would end up in Spain. So I came to Spain about 20 years ago. It's been 20 years now. And that has been quite an adventure. When I first got to Spain, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have a phone, no internet, no job. I spoke very limited Spanish. And yeah, I just came on my own, and I was just determined to immerse myself into the culture here. And it was, well, it was an incredible experience, really. I love flamenco and have really delved into that genre of music and that culture. It's a whole other world. Flamenco is a whole other world, which has been an incredible adventure. And certainly flamenco has been a huge influence in terms of my own composition, both rhythmically and harmonically. And so you'll definitely hear that in my recent recordings.
I can't believe you walked away. You always had a lot to say. Now your voice is gone. It's just an echo in this midday chatter. I can't believe I stayed so long. I think I've lost my right from wrong. Tell me, did you really love the way I let it go? Para ti, todo, todo para ti. Todo, todo para ti. It was all of you, my love. Para ti, todo, todo para ti. It was all of you, my love. When the seasons change again, do you think you'll love again? Do you think that you will find the answer to your foolish question? When I said I loved you, you'd ask why. But love is not for reason. It's just a lie. Now with too much time alone, living in a new unknown, wondering what is pure and what is real and what was meant to happen. Suddenly, young new hearts surround me with desires to devour. Will I give it all the way I can, like I did? Para ti, todo, todo para ti. Todo, todo para ti. It was all of you, my love. Para ti, todo, todo para ti. It was all of you, my love. Para ti, todo, todo, todo para ti. It was all of you, my love. Para ti, todo, todo, todo para ti. It was all of you, my love. I can't believe you walked. You walked away.
From Spain, yeah, Morocco. I always wanted to go to Morocco as well, since I was young. And first went there in 2001 and have been back many, many times since. And I've had some of my most incredible musical adventures in Morocco. One that sticks out is an experience that I had in Tiznit, which is a very small, ancient town in the south of Morocco. It's not a touristy place at all. It's even kind of difficult to get there. But I was in a situation where I was, in a room with musicians with whom I had no common language, even musical language, gender, religion, culture, none of those common denominators, but we had music, we had sound. And we put together the most incredible, in a very spontaneous way, the most incredible experience. I think there's a tiny bit of video of that somewhere that somebody took on an old telephone. Ever since I had that experience, I've been going back to Morocco to seek out musical encounters. And a few years ago, I put together a project in Tangier in the north. And I wrote a piece of music that I thought, no, this has to be played by Moroccan musicians. I could just hear it in my head. So I put the word out. I went out looking for players there and found a wonderful group of musicians. Hamza, who plays the oud, and Simo on the violin, and Khaled on percussion, Juan Soto on bass. And we recorded this music video down there. And I hope that when the world opens up again, we can get that project reinitiated. It would be wonderful.
Just can't let it go. The salmon of the stream, their instincts fade away. Against the tide they fight to reach their cradle. And they fight, and they fight, but they just can't let it go. Well, it's a long,
ليلي يا ليلي يا ليلي يا ليلي يا ليلي يا ليل يا ليل
I think if there's a Canadian influence in all of this is that I think Canada is a very unique place in the world, I've discovered, because I've been to more than 60 countries, I think, and performed in many of them. And I think that the thing about Canada is that we embrace other cultures, and that is what I have been doing for all these years, and it's been really the key to my being open to new experiences, because when you go into a situation where you don't have anything obvious in common with other people, if you go in with any kind of judgment or expectation, you might create some conflict. But if you go into new situations and new cultures as a guest and as a student of life, there's just so much you can learn, and it's really fun. I love that experience of being in a situation where I don't know what's going to happen and I don't know anybody, and I could kind of say, okay, what can I learn here? And I've had that experience all over the world. In Singapore, when I worked for a band called the Love Hunters back in 1992, I think it was, after Brunei, playing with a Malaysian rock band, that really opened my eyes. Even going to play in Holland, and Denmark. I mean, every culture has its different ways of communicating, approaches to business, approaches to relationships, approaches to music, obviously. And to go into these situations without knowing or what without dictating how things should be, it's a wonderful experience. You get to learn so much about other cultures and especially about yourself. You end up questioning what you thought might be true or might be the right way to do things, and you go, hey, well, there are other ways of approaching these things, and going through life that way for me has been really a gift, I think. I think maybe I got that attitude from Canada, or maybe it's just the way that I grew up without really having any preconceived ideas about the world. I just went out with a curious mind and an open heart, and that's just led me to have the most incredible life, sharing experiences through music.
Nancy, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much again for inviting me on your show, and I hope I get to come back to Canada soon. It'd be wonderful to see everybody there. Hola from Spain.
I can't believe you walked away. You always had a lot to say. Now your voice is gone. It's just an echo in this midday chat.